Hello, everybody, and welcome to Left Hand, Right Brain. I hope this podcast finds you well. And I know I say it every podcast, but I say it because of room for all your likes and subscribes, your rates and reviews. Appreciate. And if you like what you're hearing on this Left Hand Right Brain podcast, you'll probably like all the other podcasts under the Left Hand Right Brain banner, such as Let's Get Drunk and Talk About Your Wedding with host Jen and Mel, or Help Me I'm Scared, another podcast about horror films with host Katie Bowman. Both pretty self-explanatory. It's all in the title. You can find those wherever you get your podcasts. You can find them on the YouTube channel. Just Google Help Me I'm Scared or our YouTube Left Hand Right Brain. Or you can go to lefthandrightbrainpod.com. That's where you can find links to all the Left Hand Right Brain podcasts and the backlogs of the JDJOs, the Left Hand Right Brains, the Live Hand Right Brains, the Appetites podcast, anything LHRB related, Los Chupacabros, you can find by going to lefthandrightbrainpod.com. Okay, and that brings me to this week's podcast, which is with returning guest Ben Bryant. And we've had a past, I guess, Ben and I, we've started around comedy. He started earlier than I did, and he got some heat pretty early on. If you go back and listen to some of the old episodes, you can hear, his frustrations, kind of struggles with the scene, and now he's in a great place. I mean, he runs the Denver Comedy Underground. Yeah, he runs the Denver Comedy Underground. Sorry, I had to Google it just to make sure it's the right title. There's a lot of Denver comedy, clubs opening up. There's the Denver Comedy Lounge, or just the Comedy Lounge. There's the Humor Underground. There's a lot of Denver comedy things. I wanted to make sure I was getting the right one because apparently it is the biggest, the number one comedy club in Denver. They're getting all kinds of great acts. It's a cheap ticket. It's $20, but you get the show, you get some pizza, you get a drink. It's a pretty good deal for the cost. Definitely check it out. You can go to denvercomedyunderground.com to get the info on that. You can follow Ben on Instagram, Ben S. Bryant. He's super funny guy. I don't know if I've ever given it up enough to him for being a very funny comedian. He's a little more absurdist than I'm used to, or than I am. So I never gave him his kudos, I guess, as we were, both in the scene. We kind of just ran in different crews, so we didn't really mingle too much, but we'd cross paths, we talk, and Ben talks about being on some medications post COVID, and that's really changed his mindset. I think he said they were like antipsychotic medications, and that's helped a lot. He is a big advocate for getting some meds, getting medicated if you feel you need to, getting therapy. He's definitely chilled out a lot more now that he's older. We were both in our early 20s, and now we're both in our 30s. So, just different guys for sure. So it's cool to see how much he's grown, how much success he's had. It's very impressive. I was trying to get him to talk about it, but it's hard. It's hard for anybody, I think, to take a compliment gracefully, but comedians, oh my God, forget about it. All right. They, he deflects, but, he's definitely earned everything he's got. I really appreciate him coming on and talking about it honestly. If you're a young comic, or someone coming to the scene, you want to know how to get a hold of him or get a hold of the club to maybe do some time. He has some advice on, getting past the comedy works, because that's something that he's done. Now he's kind of on the other side of that. He's got an interesting perspective on that. We go all over the place with this conversation. It was a really fun time. Thank you so much, Ben, for being on. I appreciate it. Appreciate everything you do. Thanks for, keeping Denver comedy strong. Because when we started, I remember, the Grawlix guys had left at that point. There was kind of a comedy vacuum, and people were like, oh, Denver comedy's weak. I remember people saying that. And, I feel people like Ben, that's kind of in my class of Denver comedians, really stepped up and have made it really great. We got a very strong comedy scene, not just with comedians, but like great shows that pay well, are sustainable. I mean, he talks a lot about being ethical as well, and maybe not in those words, but, he's cultivated a safe space and, things like that. We do talk a lot about Pepper, because we have her in the room during this podcast. So sorry if you don't like the dog talk. If we're referring to Pepper, that's my puppy, Sergeant Pepper. the best basset hound in the world. Follow her at Sergeant Pepperhound on Instagram. All right. Someone needs to start bringing in some money for this podcast. Okay. And if it's Sergeant Pepper, that's fine with me. Okay. So she could be a brand ambassador if you're interested, things like that. She could sponsor your podcast. Ben's a big silly goose, big dog lover. So we get into that. Thank you so much, Ben, for being on. I'll just let you guys get into the episode. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, we're a part of Mile High Life. Check them out, milehighllife.com. Get all the dopest podcasts in and around Denver, Colorado. I'm done with the intro, though. So let's get into this week's LHRB podcast, part of Mile High Life, produced by Left Hand Right Brain Productions.
I fucked with audition very, very, very briefly in college because that's what the college radio station wanted us to do, and I started learning it. And I mean, it's fine, it's fluid enough, but I just dropped learning it. Right, Pepper?
Yeah, Pep. We got the dog in the room, okay? It's just, so it's an experiment to see if she'll how cool she'll be. Yeah, I feel like we walk her in like
Are we already rolling?
Yeah.
Okay, you just went. I could tell because you went into like radio voice.
Oh, really? I didn't think I like to. Well, okay, maybe I do have more of a persona,
like podcast voice.
Persona.
Well, it's the difference between like,
hey, welcome to WDZK.
Yeah.
No, well, when we walk her, there's like little boys and like old people are so drawn to her.
No little girls and
little girls like her, but I mean, it's really you see it in
there. Yeah.
Some old lady came up to my wife recently and like took her in. It's just like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. It's like people like take an inventory of their whole lives in her eyes. They just like look at her and they like.
She's a very Boy Scout magazine of a dog.
She was just digging into the carpet here. That's something we gotta try and nip in the butt.
Yeah, get her a little.
I bite her butt when she does bad things. That's a dog training trick you won't hear on any of the shows.
That's why you don't see Caesar Milan anymore. It's because he was munching too much pop ass. She needs a little bed so she can.
We have a bed. She never uses it.
Oh, she's just being a pain in the ass.
Yeah, the random spots, and then anyway. Yeah, so she likes the air conditioning in here, and we're the only ones here, so I wanted to.
It's great air conditioning.
Oh, appreciate it. Yeah.
It's a great air conditioning in a good room, good airflow for it. I like a nice cool room. The fatter I get, the more when I was younger, I used to really like a nice warm room because I think I had no internal insulation. But now, give me a cold room.
And it's just good for getting your metabolism up. Burning some extra body weight. Some excess calories.
A lot of vasodilation.
That's your blood veins. Gotcha. Is that something you take into consideration now a lot more as you're in your age?
Absolutely not. Maybe if I just had surgery and was 80 and needed to keep moving so I don't.
Well, you did just have surgery and you're like, what, 26?
I am 30.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I had surgery fucking at 29. When was the surgery? March. Yeah, 4 months ago. I had hernia surgery.
Just wanted to show you the angle we're at here. Is this okay with you? Because I'm worried about people being like,
oh, I was hoping that you're just gonna paint it was just my penis. Yeah, I should probably sit up though. Thank you. Especially since I'm like, I'm all fat and out of shape and bloated and dying and I need surgery.
You said that, you laid out and
oh, dude, when I did page 69, I would get into the worst. Like I'd just be like podcast. Actually laying down during stuff. It's good. It was before the time of video pods, or it would have looked truly low effort, truly like.
Well, that was the beauty of podcast back in the day. It's like I don't have to look a certain way. I could just be this.
Yeah, why do I have to wear makeup for a podcast now?
I mean, I just want you to look your best, so that's why I demanded.
That's why I look my best in full kabuki.
Kabuki.
Makeup. That's all a beard is male makeup.
Interesting. I mean, it is like sculpting.
And you can
like women contour their cheeks. We're contouring our chins
completely. Well, and you can, the chin's a big one. You can get into the cheeks with it. I don't have quite that much growth. Yeah, it doesn't grow up close.
Not too much. Yeah. I don't get as much growth up there. But sorry, got a new setup. Everybody, if you're listening, if it was a little hot up top, sorry about that. But we're making do here.
Yeah, thanks for listening and sticking with us as we figure out our I say "our" because I'm JD and I are partnering in on the podcast now. It's
yeah, I mean,
left hand, right hand.
You were very
right brain,
successful now from the last time we spoke.
I think success is relevant. How do
sure.
How do you
I
mean
like that perspective?
No, you're getting interviewed.
No.
That's what I do. I come in on podcasts and I start interviewing them. I get the
What do
police.
you
And they're
mean
like,
by
"Where
that?"
were you on the night of July, whatever?"
6th.
Yes, that was 2 days.
I was
ago.
with every patriot on July 6th. Okay.
2 days after the. Yeah, I'm more of a Thursday guy.
Yeah, if it would have been Thursday, I would have been off work. But anyway, no. So you were talking about having surgery in your 30s. Yeah, you've had some health things, and we'll get back to your success.
They took my penis out, put it into my asshole. It's not a transition. It's just a thing so I can piss better. Yeah, it's just like a bit. The doctor's just like, "Hey, I'm just kind of playing around here. What do you think about this one?" I was like, "Yeah, let's try it. It could be funny." Okay, no, I just had hernia surgery because I'd always had it like as a baby.
Okay. You had the hernia from a young age,
like born with it.
Were your parents making you lift when you were a kid? Because I knew a kid who
just their expectations
made. Okay,
no, it's
the weight
just
of
like
the world was on you,
like a birth defect. It was fairly minor, but there was like, I don't know, the core was like around my neck and shit when I was like born.
Okay.
Because I was like,
the strain.
I see the way this was going.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we just got to repair. It just like slightly got tweaked, and then I went to the ER, and they're like, "Yeah, this is fine. You have like a fat hernia." And I was like, "That sounds not fine," because like it's where there's fat coming through instead of like organ.
Yeah.
And then I went to a specialist, and the first specialist I saw, it was like, "Yeah, you need this done." She's an older lady. She's like, "We're gonna do the surgery, and after you will never be able to lift more than 100 pounds ever again in your entire life."
You're like, "I'll show you, B."
Well, I was like, "You're a butcher, actually." And then I went to another guy, and he's like, "No, that's insane." And then we just got the regular one, and now I'm just rehabbing it because I don't want to tear it open because it was pretty. Well, so right now you're going and you're Googling fat hernia. All that's going to come up with is a bunch of
I didn't want
San
to go
Francisco
to
rappers named Fat Hernia.
Yes,
so actually these are good. So you can see kind of in that third one there, because there's a hole in the wall
of your gut lining
of the muscle. So
Okay.
your gut lining that's
what's
intestinal. That's
Yeah,
within
yeah.
the organs, and a hernia is musculature. So it's just a hole. It's your outside's trying to go in. It can be really painful, and if like stomach gets in there, you can see the fourth one. It like ties up, and you can end with like killing off. Like when you tie off a horse's balls, like it just like ends up dying. So
the ball's not the horse.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Well, they try to kill them. That's actually, they do that to race horses. They neuter them. And then at the very end of the track, they put a brick wall, and they try to get the horse to run into it as fast as they can and instantly kill itself. Pepper.
Yeah, she's just chilling.
So sweet.
Yeah, and she's the distract. I mean, people. Did we finish that loop? People go through their whole lives and then they tell us about their whole life story about when they had a basset hound when they were a kid and something. And young boys really attached to her.
Sure, yeah.
Except one guy. My wife told me that she was at the. There's a skate park by our house, and some boy came up and my wife was throwing away like something in the trash can, so she got closer to the skate park than usual. And these two kids are there, and one of them goes, "That's a gay ass dog."
Wow,
which I don't get.
That's a pretty, especially for some so sweet.
She's
not like a little dog or like a prissy dog. That's. What a crazy take.
And apparently his friend was like, "Oh my God, that's so inappropriate. I'm so sorry, ma'am."
Okay,
but
it's
he's
one of
going
things.
through a hard time is what he said to the other guy.
Really? He's going through a hard
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
He's going through something.
He just calls dogs slurs whenever it's not a good coping mechanism, but it is his. Yeah, I thought that story was going to go to, we were at the skate park and it was just covered in English bulldogs, just skateboarding around.
Now that would be, wow, what a thing.
They love to skate.
Yeah, apparently they have basset hound like meetups.
Oh, absolutely.
And people like dress them up in like costumes and stuff.
I could see that.
I would love, I don't know, I do like that idea of her just being with her people. Her kind.
They're a very, racial segregation. No, they're very, very sweet. They're also very like specific dogs. I could very easily see how somebody would get attached to them because they are so singular and sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I had one. We had one when I was a kid, so that's why I was like,
See?
when we
Yeah.
get one,
Mhm.
this is what I want.
I would have a very hard time getting away from pugs after Mochi.
Yeah, you had a puppy or a dog.
Yes,
For-
I got him when he was 5. He's still around. He's 6 now.
Oh, okay.
No, I never
pug?
had a pug before that.
Yeah, my parents love English bulldogs now.
My neighbor has an English bulldog, very sweet. Her name's Rosie. They dress her up in little outfits with like flowers on them. She looks very snazzy. She loves to wrestle. Dude, they're just such great dogs. Pugs,
Yeah, like
they're so
pretty-
sweet. They'll do fucking whatever. They will
Will they stick
nap
by
all day.
you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
he's a
that-
shadow. He's brutal about it. I've made a codependent, weird little dog.
Do you take them to dog parks at all?
A little. He likes people a lot more than dogs, and I also have to be a little careful with the heat with him. But I'll take him
Oh.
sometimes, and he just ignores it. He walks around and he'll like sniff at other dogs. He'll be like dog version of cordial, but he just wants to get attention from people, and
They're
people give
so-
it to him because he's
yeah.
so forward and so cute.
Yeah.
He's so cute. I can actually just sneak him into restaurants, like no vest, no where they're just like, well, yeah, sure, he belongs here. Why not?
He's just like sniffing and
Yeah, and
licking his nose and
It-
drooling.
And he just sits there too. He's not like creating a problem. He'll literally just sit there the whole time.
Yeah.
I used to take him into
Pepper
Pete's
wants to
Kitchen
be with
constantly.
people, so she'll like go up to other people and jump on them and stuff.
I could see Pepper getting away with that too. She's a little big, but not
Yeah,
terribly.
she's a little tank. She's deceptively heavy. She's like 45 pounds.
Oh whoa,
Yeah,
dense bones.
little bass ends.
Yeah, you
Because
got- you got the
they
big
got to be
paws.
built because they're built to hunt.
Yeah.
to go hunt, fight badgers and shit. So
Yeah, no, you want a sturdy, strong dog.
yeah, so it's like it's hard. Her recall isn't good, like in the sense
Mm.
that like if she wanders out somewhere, she's not coming back unless you entice her somehow.
What if
so
you
it's like-
hit her if she doesn't?
No, yeah, that's why I nip her in the butt.
Good. Yeah,
I
thank
bite
you.
her butt.
Thank you.
So.
Folks, we'll be right back.
Okay. See, that's why we don't have her in the studio a lot because she's a distraction.
Yeah, it
but
just turns into the dog podcast, which pretty good market.
pretty good market. You had surgery for your hernia. You
Mhm.
feel better now.
Yeah.
And didn't you have your appendix taken out not too long ago?
That was maybe 2017, 2018.
Okay.
That was like
That was when we did our last pod.
was like freshly
2018.
off of the appendix surgery.
I don't know about that so much as I knew it was
The
2018.
time
so,
period. Okay. Yeah. Wow. 5 years.
I know, it's crazy. You're such a man now.
No.
Yeah, you're like rugged. You went from like boyhood to manhood now. You went from like boy cute to man.
I just started putting
smoldering.
Rogaine on my face to fill in the patches. That's
Hey,
all.
it's working.
It works okay, not phenomenally.
What about
It takes
pills?
A long
I've been thinking about getting some Hims or something.
time. For what? For hair loss or for
Yeah.
like?
Just keeping the hair I do have now.
I mean, it's the same general stuff. I think it works okay. I think it's like
But you got to
60
keep
to
it up.
70%.
Like once you start, I don't know if I can commit to another bill every month.
There is that. Yeah, I haven't really fucked with that, but from what I've seen online, because I'll sometimes get ads for like Hims or Keeps or whatever. I'm like, oh my god, thank you, you fucks. And yeah, I think you're supposed to like maintain it pretty regular. I think there's a point where it can like kind of restore the follicle and you can taper off a little, but then it'll also go away, I believe. But also, this podcast isn't sponsored by Hims. Fuck them. I'm not doing. They're selling for them.
Yeah.
Hims made me bald and took away my. I only pee green now.
It
So
probably gave you the
don't buy it.
hernia.
It gave me the hernia.
Oh yeah, well you're saying
It
that
gave
was
me
from
a
birth.
butt hernia.
So you had a hernia your whole life,
Well, I mean, just light. It was just like it was a like.
and
hey,
you were
be
like
aware
lifting
of
heavy
this.
for a little while. I remember you were trying to get real jacked.
But
Do you think that expedited it? I mean, like
no. It was just.
it was just one of those things that like
it probably
over time,
actually helped it because it like
'cause you're
reinforced the muscle.
strengthening
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it was so fucking stupid. I remember exactly when it happened. I was at judo and we were doing warm ups. We were just doing leg lifts, just the basic,
Yeah, you're laying on your belly
like
or on your back. and
yeah.
you're doing your leg lifts.
just warm. It'd have been one thing if it was like no dramatic, fighting a guy
Steven
2,000
Seagal.
pounds. No,
Yeah,
but it
you
was just warm up. And honestly, I prefer it that way because because now I just go like, well, that was just gonna happen rather than like, fuck, I'm so stupid. I am.
What's on your phone here? I know you're a busy guy now. Now you're a successful showrunner, club owner. Would you call it a club?
Yeah,
The-
yeah, it's an entire
the
business. We
Comedy
do 5
Underground.
shows a week. We're the top reviewed club in Denver.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to take anything away from you with that.
No, I know you're not.
Like,
I just plug it whenever I can.
No, that's
because
great.
It's just fun to brag about in a reasonable way. That's the thing. Whenever we're doing something wrong, I'm like, it's a scam in a church basement. But when we're doing something great, I'm like, no, this is a legitimate business. It's good to ride both sides of the line and stand for nothing.
It's always the best.
Stand for nothing except excuses.
Yeah, so I guess we can talk about that because the last time you were on, you were maybe not. You were kind of in a downer place, about your place in the scene. It seemed like.
I think it just not within the scene, but just in comedy in general. Because no, by then, 2018. Yeah,
You're
no, I kind of remember what was
festivals.
going on.
You weren't,
Well, yeah, well, I didn't have laughing school. Still, I don't have that yet. We'll find that out in a week. Also, it doesn't matter now. I've done Limestone and the other shit. Comedy Works and all of that hadn't happened, or I had
like getting
past
that
over.
comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
passed over. Which you did get past now.
I did, and I've made
now you can work there for free.
An unfathomable amount of money from it. I literally I take those checks to the bank, and they're like, "Is this fake? I didn't know numbers could go that high." And I'm like, "Well, that's crazy. You're a banker. I think you would have seen numbers." But no, I mean, it's fine. I'm glad to have it. And
well, can we talk about that a little bit? Yeah, because you were feeling down because you hadn't got past at the club.
Well, like everybody, that's the poison of it.
I mean, I feel
but
that.
Also, like, I think that's kind of the freedom of perspective, age, and then also just getting is you go, okay, so just in the way that for my class, it's like, it's just a building. It's great, and I like performing there. There are things about it that are a pain in the ass.
Possibly the best it gets, for comics in the scene, performance wise.
Comedy Works.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't done your club, so.
Oh no, it's fine. I mean,
so I don't know.
No, I mean reliably, and that's the other thing we struggle with too is we're not like accessible to these people.
That's the A tier. I mean, that's what people are striving for, working at the club.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which they can and should, but also like I think a lot of more things have become democratized. And I think that has benefits and detriments. I think people go like, oh, there's more than just comedy work. Like, again, Passive Comedy Works, very grateful. Not speaking ill of it at all. But like, if I talk to people in New York or LA, I'm like, I'm Passive Comedy Works. Like, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything to anybody outside of Colorado.
But
Denver,
you gotta
specifically.
You're care about where you are.
The ladder,
and,
here. Yeah, no, you're.
I am moving in September to New York, but I'm gonna like split time. Kind of like Brent Gill. Shouts out.
Another showrunner here. He runs a Boulder comedy show.
He does.
I mean, I haven't seen that guy here in forever. So.
Yeah, he's done a better job about like being able to like leave it to people. And I'm a little sleepy. I apologize. And so thank you very much for this energy drink from the Rock.
Zoa, go ahead and just bring the. There you go. There it is. Zoa.
I do like the light, like Maui Mori. Maui
Mori. That's. I feel like that's like a.
The Maori Povich show.
Yeah, some
and
kind of.
Like, you are not the father, brother.
That's wow.
And it's just like it's like a 6'10" Maori guy, and it's like a little white woman. It's like a little white baby.
I was thinking of some kind of like Hawaiian or Samoan, like Woody Allen type movie. Maui Mori.
You don't want Samoan Woody Allen. No one can stop him from fucking kids. He's too much. He's too powerful. He's
that wasn't what he was accused. I mean, he wasn't fucking kids, right? It was
his stepdaughter.
His stepdaughter. No, yeah, his stepdaughter. But she was already an adult. Okay. I read his biography.
Rewind it. You don't want to fuck with Samoan Woody Allen at a family reunion. There we go.
Yeah. Well, ideally
keep me away. This is pussy season for me, Woody.
Brother.
Samoan Woody Allen, brother. Would you like some poke?
Spam?
I made it myself.
Yeah. Just some spam sushi. Wow. Offensive on so many levels. I'm sorry about that.
It's not even offensive.
Yeah, you can't be offensive towards Samoans. They have the cookie.
They do.
That's all they need.
Yeah.
And again, you put the logo on the back side.
Okay, are they paying you?
No.
Then I'm doing the right thing.
You're doing fine, but yes. Okay, so getting past that Comedy Works, which is everybody thinks is like
the calories thing, like just
10,
like the most
baby.
anorexic.
Yeah, that's
like
probably.
It's like, oh yeah, this is my lunch for the whole day, and then another next 3 days.
You want to get into that? I haven't consumed any calories all day.
I haven't before this because I'm stupid and wake up late.
I've been doing this intermittent fasting thing recently, so I won't start my feeding window until 2.
It worked pretty okay. You got to get into overnight oats.
I was doing that for a while, but I mean that's just a lot of carbs right up top.
It is a lot of carbs, and you got to also like to make it calorie efficient. You got to get like I was using almond milk, and then it had vanilla in it, and I went with one without vanilla, and it now tastes horrid.
Well, yeah, no sugar.
Anyway, okay, Comedy Works.
Yeah, because that's everybody's goal. If I get past there, then your dreams will come true, right? It's kind of the things.
We've seen it time and time again.
Yeah. I mean, and so, yes, big milestone. We're not diminishing it. I mean, we would all like to do I would like to do that. You have done that. Tell us what it's like on the other side. You know, like what was and then like what was it like to get there? What work did you put in? Because, I mean, this is the goal for a lot of starting comics.
I'm extremely not the person to ask about that because it took them an extremely long time to even care about me, to the point where it was literally easier for me to get on Adult Swim than it was for them to pass me.
You got a cartoon? Your voice is on a cartoon?
I created a show, Spaghetti High, which played at 4 a.m. briefly one time.
Okay. Was that a cartoon or was it a... It was live action.
Live action made with people in the scene.
Can I get to it on YouTube?
You sure can.
Again, I must have not been, you didn't have my number till...
Jamie, pull that up.
Spaghetti High. I don't know. It's spelled spaghetti or high, I guess.
Well, I mean, the SEO on it is crazy, obviously. It's popping up.
I was listening to things on 2 times the speed here, so let me... All right, already going to get a strike for copyright. Cool. Yeah, a lot of Denver comics here.
Yeah, I mean that's who's around, who's available, and who's good. Nathan's such a great actor, just the fucking king. I don't even like this one necessarily. My favorite one's probably like the second one. I think it stands on its own a lot better.
Proud?
This one?
Yeah, the breakup.
And cheating on me.
I cannot believe that you and Becky might break up. Like, that would change everything.
I can't be with you anymore.
Becky, I'm pregnant.
No, you're not.
So the gimmick is like they just always eat spaghetti in these high school drama.
It's Dawson's Creek, but they're spaghetti the whole time.
Okay.
That's basically it.
Yeah. So it was easier to make this and get it on cable network than to get past the Comedy Works.
And to get paid for that, by the way.
So what happens when you get past? Like they just pay you to do sets?
They don't pay me to do sets.
Okay. But you have the opportunity to do more sets.
2 levels. There's Almost Famous, and then there's Pro.
And getting past means you're almost famous.
Yes, you can go straight to Pro. The only real difference is you get paid and you can feature. Those are B1, A1 and B1 sets. And you can also do guest spots usually as Almost Famous. The way it works is you just sign up like each week if you're available and can do stuff. I've been bad about signing up because
you're so busy with your other successful thing.
Yeah, and there've been a few people that have come through that I really wanted to work with, but it's just there haven't been a whole lot lately.
So if you're signing up all the time, you just get in front of more headliners, and that gives you the opportunity to network and maybe get more work that way.
In
if
theory,
they like you, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of an old model of how comedy used to work.
Well, and it's tough because I mean you can hit it off like instantly with people. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, because I think I saw Georgia was opening for like some bigger name in Fort Collins this weekend.
Yeah,
and, she got past the club and all that jazz. So like she's building connections that way.
Yeah, but it just takes it.
Adam Ray.
Yeah, which like that's great. But that's the other thing too is like for me personally, Jesus Christ.
Do you need him?
No.
Okay. His phone, just for the listeners.
Thank you. Sorry. But like for me personally, I can just be like, yeah, not only can I work with you, I can talk with you in the green room. I can book exactly who I want. And then I'm also writing you a check at the end of it for Underground.
Can you pay more than the club? Is that
for locals? Yes.
For local? Okay.
For a touring headliner, they would have to really justify it. So the comedy... What people don't understand about like the conventional comedy club model is it's just a bar, or it's just a bar and restaurant that turns over twice a night. So that's why they have a 2-item minimum. Is exactly it's on drinks and stuff, and they take a if it's a big enough act, a fairly small cut of the door, and the act itself will get a large portion of the door because they're, selling the experience of seeing them perform. So a comedy club is basically a celebrity meet and greet with a bar attached, effectively. And we don't do that. We make our money off tickets. We give away free drink and free pizza. So we've inverted the relationship because we want people to want to be there, not want to see fucking Jimmy Asshole from whoever the fuck.
This is at the Denver Comedy Underground,
This
right?
is at Denver Comedy Underground on 14th
Where's it
and
located?
Williams.
Okay, there it is.
1400 North Williams Street. So I mean, if somebody could justify that, yeah, we could pay more than but there are some times with like some of these clubs where like a truly good headliner can walk away with about $40K for a weekend, but that's on like a pretty pure door deal, and that's like a pretty big
Throw out a
draw
name.
act.
That's like a Jay Farrow. That's like because I'm just thinking people are coming to the club now or recently. As of this recording, I think Jay Farrow's coming.
I'm trying to think who I
Joe
don't.
List. People I've seen on the kiosk.
The door splits completely depend on your draw, your agent, and you, and how much you can, and also the club budget. But generally 70-30 to 80-20. Sometimes people do a 90% split. Sometimes they'll do versus deals. So we don't have the capacity for that unless we raise ticket prices additionally, and that surplus
What do
would go to
ticket prices start or at?
$20. So it's
$20 to get into the
free drink, free pizza. You get a
No
show.
wonder it didn't seem like you were happy the last time I showed up.
That's right. That's
that
right.
I just walked in.
Free.
You got a door guy, I had to sweet talk him. I was like, I know Ben. We back.
We got 9 staff now.
Shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're like running a legit business.
I am running it. Yeah, it's an
But
actual
when did
business.
it become this? I mean, because you started off
Was on
doing
purpose.
guest lists and stuff pre-pandemic. You were doing
Yep.
shows, bar shows that were pretty successful,
Yep.
and that was like to spite the scene. It felt like you're like, I'm going to be successful. Well, we talked about spite on the last podcast, so it's just
Well,
being,
yeah. I mean, maybe
big
then. I
motivator.
mean, like back then, there was also so many people who were such poisonous, like not even also rans, just like never rans. This seems very much like not even ran. That's what's so pathetic in hindsight, but just like the perceived people at the top were so aggressive and so mean and so like, this is the fucking meanest green room in America, the meanest mic. And now most of those people have quit and are broke and are not super happy with the decisions they have made. So I mean, it's not to spite the scene. I mean, there was a bit of pushback because there were people who were so actively aggressive, and again, I don't think like anybody was ever like holding me down, because I think that is a myth. But I'll just call
you
it
have
back.
to take a call.
No, I'll just call them back, and also the fucking call dropped anyway.
Who is it?
Just somebody calling the club.
Okay.
People call and they're like, "Yeah, do you have parking on site?" It's like, "Yeah, we do. It's on the website." That's a lot of it. It's much nicer than that, and I'm very appreciative they're calling, but I wish people would read. Nobody reads. That's also what I've learned.
Yeah, I just like talking to a person.
Yeah, which I get it.
So okay, well, you said spite the motivation to get so successful. I was thinking is or like to
I
like
see.
have it be.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
such
I'm
a
trying to
success.
just like get myself back in like 2018 brain.
Oh, please don't. I want you to stay here.
Well, no, I mean, just to
Um,
remember that perspective. So there's another thing that also happened is I also got on psych meds like during the pandemic because I got insurance because I was very worried about COVID. So like if I get on this, it will bankrupt me. So that's not an insignificant part. I'm not currently on psych meds, but I've gone through like 2 rounds and it's been helpful each time, and I highly recommend it to everybody who even has an inkling they might need it. But yeah, there was a lot of just like, if you're not gonna let me fucking play in your reindeer games, fuck you, I'll go start my own.
Yeah. So is this, I mean, like,
But the like underground was not started like
can
that.
I throw out some names or like not names but like shows? Or do we not want to do that? I
If
mean,
you
I
really
don't
want to do that, I'll play along. But like I've made peace with like most of these
Sure,
things
sure.
and these people,
which I
and
think is great.
That's also what is so. I think maybe that's the most interesting thing I would have to share from this is that, in that time when you're so like, fuck this person, fuck them. I hope they get
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
fucking coming to them, and then in a couple years later when they do, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah. That's
It doesn't.
That's a wisdom of age kind of a thing right there. Perspective.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, damn, this is like, This is like a
hard out
bummer.
here.
This is a bummer that you were like this. It's a bummer you did this to me. It's a bummer you were doing this to yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just thinking of the shows that were big when I started, and I'm not saying these are the shows that we're talking about.
let's do it. I'll engage.
Well, I'm
I'll
just thinking
engage
the
I'll
Fine
engage
Gents
this.
was a big show. The Grolix guys had their show.
I've still never done Grolix.
Me either.
They've offered it to, but I've been like, I'm
Oh.
busy, and they're like, yeah, fine.
They're
Much more polite about that.
That must feel fantastic.
No, I feel bad. I don't like turning down stuff.
Sure.
But
But just that they've multiple times, that's cool.
it's just like casually to add
Sure,
them. And
yeah.
also,
yeah.
it's
but that you're in the mix that much that they think about you.
yeah.
I mean, that's very flat. I mean, that would be a goal for me. So I mean, I think that's cool.
Well, I mean, there are also other people who I know who would love to do the Grolix who you think like they haven't done it. That's crazy. But
Yeah.
also like this
You're
is
talking about me.
yeah.
Thank
This is also the insane thing about like I love all those guys and it's a great show.
and I
stuff,
wasn't
but
saying
it's
that
also
they,
like
they are keeping. Yeah, we're the
like what are we doing here? Like again, it's great, but to like tie any amount of self-worth to like one night, one show.
yeah.
Again, like we love laurels. It's good to like check those things off. It's good to have goals and road marks
Who's
along
Laurel?
the way.
Sorry.
He's
He's
Laurel
the
and Hardy.
sidekick in Maui Murray, and his
Who's on first?
brother
My
lawyer.
daughter, stepdaughter. What
my daughter brother.
That riff brought to you by Zoa.
So ha 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 ha.
Labels out.
Labels out, everybody.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
I
so-
truly, the show was fine and good, and I saw some amazing stuff there. Like I watched Rory for the first time,
Talking
which
about Grolix.
blew my mind. No, the Too Much Fun,
Oh,
but
okay,
I
too much.
really did hate that fucking hallway a lot. There was a lot
Yeah.
of like, it was just like, whoa, fucking here it is, Cool Kids Club.
Yep. I was there, man. I was in
And-
there trying to get in the mix. I was
Yeah.
right there. It's just so people don't know, there was a room above City O City that had the show, and then the hallway was kind of the green room.
So this actually, I think there's a real beautiful moment here. Is for people who don't know, this thing that we're talking about that we're putting great emotional importance in
Yeah.
was a 10 p.m. or much later Wednesday show
Yep.
that seated maybe 50 people, 60 people
Yeah.
above. That was in a remodeled yoga studio above a vegan restaurant that is
Yeah.
currently closed. It doesn't exist anymore. And beautiful moments in time, et cetera, and Chappelle performed
Yeah,
there
Chappelle
once.
went there
and
once, yeah.
there is a mythology to it, but it's also like
I do remember.
you take a step back and you're like, I guess I was being kind of insane over
yeah, dude.
a yoga
I remember
studio.
taking my now wife there for the first time to see me perform,
Mhm.
and which was such a big deal for me, such
Yeah,
a big get.
of course.
I was like, it was like one of the last shows, and then to step back and see it from her perspective, it was 4 white dudes chugging beers and spitting them into the audience.
Yeah,
is
also
how they started.
No air conditioning.
Yeah, just hot
miners there.
room. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, this doesn't seem as cool
Yeah.
from her point of view.
Yeah, and the truth's in the middle.
And
There's a
they're
part where it's like, it is cool,
it
it's
was
punk
cool.
rock,
It was,
and,
yeah, it was. Yeah,
all those dudes are great and funny.
but I was also don't spit beer on my girlfriend, dude.
Super valid. Super valid.
But I guess if you didn't want beer to get spit on you, you shouldn't have gone to. But I mean, how would you know that if you didn't? If
yeah.
you'd never gone. So
I mean, I don't know.
It's a weird-
when you're like, hey, I'm sitting on a milk crate and it's almost 11. You're basically at like a noise
You're like,
show.
I'm gonna do
You're at like
any,
you're at a
anything.
punk rock show for comedy.
Yeah.
Which
Which was like the thing for a long time.
well, I guess that's actually an important bit of context because you are exactly right. I found an old thing. You maybe even remember this. Rick DeSimone put it on. It was like Denver Comedy Week, and it was like, Denver, you are so lucky. There's so much amazing comedy, and he listed 4 open mics, and there was one each per week. There was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You could go to, or no, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday is what it was.
Okay.
Where it's like, you guys, there's so much amazing comedy. You can go to all these open mics. And it's what, because, it used to be there was New Talent and Squire and Lionsler, and that was it. And then suddenly it went from
This is like
2,
early
2.5.
This is like 2007, 2008 ish. When it was just those 3.
When it was just those 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably around
Because I got
2007,
in
2008.
2011, 2012. Well, 2011 is when I moved to Denver, but like 2013 is when I started hitting it.
Yeah, same. So, Rick's like, he's putting this on. It's
Rick
like
is an old
Rick
comic.
DeSimone.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
who...
Yeah. The name sounds familiar. I can't put a face, but
Rick's great. He also he quit comedy and now he's like very successfully like managing like LensCrafters and stuff. And it's just like I always think that's interesting when people go from comedy, which is so violently hard, to like, oh, I can just actually like succeed now in like regular life because I've been through this crazy ringer of hyper judgment and hyper difficulty. So
that was the scene then.
Yeah.
And it
so
was
it
punk rock
mattered
scene.
that like it was like, holy shit, there's a showcase on Wednesdays and it's good, and it just starts snowballing. And now you look at it and there's all these independent shows. I have my
so
club.
many
There's the Lounge. There's
Comedy
Don't
Lounge.
Tell. There's people running bar shows who should not be.
Comedy Save the Video Star.
Comedy Save the Video Star. Yeah, there's Harrison's thing on South Broadway. It's not Western Sky.
Yeah, it's Western Sky.
Oh, it is? Okay,
It's a
great.
bar and tap room.
Yeah, there's all these and there's a Comedy Fort, of course. There's just so much.
3Es in the Springs, like all these things.
Yeah. Looney's got better because so many people like moved because it was so cost prohibitive now, and now it's like pretty like real instead of just like
Looney's
we're
is
in
the
a
club in the Springs, yeah.
Which
I always thought was like was never a thought in my mind like I got to get up there. But it seems like a lot of people are doing that now.
I never prioritized it.
Yeah,
and
me either.
Because also with stuff, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna drive 2 hours for a $10 set. Fuck that. I'll just have a fucking bad set in Denver. you know?
Yeah. That was totally my thought process as well.
But it's gotten a lot better then too. So
that's what I've heard. I've never been.
It's just seeing, so at the time these things did matter because it was literally all there was.
Yeah.
And now, with hindsight and also with the scope increasing and there being a comedy boom or a going outside boom or whatever the fuck, it's it's just a completely different landscape. I guess really talked around the question more so than answering it. What was the original question?
Well, you started off as a bar show. You had a couple of successful things with guest lists, and then now it's like a full blown business. Like when did that start? How did you transition over to that?
Well, that was never on purpose. So I had stopped guest lists because it was too stressful. It was this monthly thing. It was a nightmare. It was so fucking stressful. Every month I was like, God, am I going to get enough people?
That was a monthly show.
It was a monthly show. One show once.
Yeah, because you're making money. Because last time we talked about like, oh, I don't want to take a McDonald's job because one, you wanted to do comedy, and two, you didn't want to like have a boss. It sounded like, which I totally get. Which I hate that I do that all the time, and I've seen all these things online, that people doing stuff, and I'm like jealous. But you made it work for you, which is fucking dope.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got a little lucky, and I'm good at what I do, and
yes, there's a lot of work that goes into that.
I had a lot of support from the scene.
How much did you get from Spaghetti High here?
$150.
Whoa!
Because it was extremely briefly used.
Sure.
But they did fucking pay me, so it's real. It's a real credit.
Yes, it is.
I
was gonna say, did you use this money to like do anything?
No. So the whole story, they did a Westward article on it, and you can read it a little bit more in detail there. But
I don't read. Tell me now.
I just warm up for the readers. No, I know we don't read. That's why we're doing audio. That's why audiobooks exist.
I love them.
That's why you listen to stuff at 2 times speed. That's how much you don't read. Is you're at double speed. Okay, very short version. So, pandemic's happening. Getting the checks, the unemployment checks, because I was about to go back and work at tennis.
The best.
We're getting the unemployment checks. Helps a lot.
Loved it.
I use it to start flipping stuff. I was already doing that like casually. I've been doing that since I was like 18.
You're talking about judo again.
I wish. There's even less money in judo than comedy, if you can believe that.
When you say flipping stuff, you mean
arbitrage, buying and reselling.
Okay.
So
like furniture?
Video games.
Okay.
So I found a copy of Super Mario 64, brand new, sealed, first edition, red box.
Whoa.
This is in the middle of also the like speculative like consumer goods bubble. I get it graded. I sell the graded one for about $6,500. I find a Vin 10 tripod that that Denver Open Media is selling. I resell that. Excuse me. Oh, jeez. Morty. Jeez, Rick. Tell the story.
Somebody was canceled, huh?
Oh, yeah. I have a running joke with my friends about Justin Roiland, about how he just likes imprisoning people. He's like, ooh, wee, Rick. I sure love putting people in a dungeon. And it just makes us laugh. So whenever you're about to do anything evil, you just go, ooh, wee. Because you're Justin Roiland. Known human captor. Anyway, so I get the money from all this.
Yeah, okay.
I have this money. Snug is going okay. I am running it with another
Irish Snug is
producer. I'm so
the
sorry.
bar show
yes.
you were doing.
But that was the bar show we were doing. Originally with guest list, it was too stressful. I do a show down there. There's a producer there. It's a great show. The room is pretty full.
Producer?
Really, really hot.
You were
show.
hiring a producer.
I do not want to say his name
Okay.
on air. I will tell you who it is quickly
yeah,
off air,
but
so
there
you have
was a
context of
person?
what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So there was another producer there who
Okay.
who just had me
Just
headline
help
a show.
curate the show.
Yes, I approached him as like, "Yo,
Booking
dude."
and things like that.
Well, so he put on a show on his own.
Okay.
I headline it. It was a great show. I was like, "Holy shit, dude, let's work together." Because
Okay.
I didn't want to do the fucking promotion. I was
Sure.
fucking. It was killing me. We start
Like
working
ads
together.
online, things like that.
Yes.
Okay.
All the producery, strenuous, just the unfun stuff, the technical stuff. I approach him. We start working together. We're working together out of the Irish Snug. The shows are going well. They're going pretty okay. I'm still making maybe $300 a week from it because we have to split it and it's hard and the bar is not very cooperative. This is again the Irish Snug. They have since gone under. Pieces of shit. I hope they die. I can tell you off mic some fucking fuck shit they did.
And that seems to be the normal.
I'll actually will tell this one on mic because
Sure.
fuck them and
I
fuck the
love it.
situation.
Come
They're
on.
pieces of shit.
Give it to me.
And I should fucking truly blast the both managers.
Yeah, they're not
there.
around. So
They're
and we didn't say
they're
any
actual
names.
human garbage. So I don't remember their fucking last name. Anyway,
Doesn't matter. Let's not say that.
well,
one.
that's how hard I want to go on it. Anyway, so I find out we're a little bit into this. Been working with this guy for a year, maybe a little bit more.
Doing a successful show.
Running a externally successful show. Financially, I'm just limping by. We're both limping by because it's two people and it's not being ran perfectly, and we have this bar that's an obstacle. I get approached. It comes out that the person who I was working with, huge problems, was basically using his position within this position of power to be extremely sexually manipulative to just shy of a dozen women. It's not just oh boy, one it was pathological, targeted, intentional. We kick him out. To his credit, he leaves without a fuss. Because you can
Which is funny,
actually
yeah.
fuck
It's
you.
like,
I'm
all
gonna
right,
keep
do
the
the show.
show.
Yeah.
Kill yourself. I'm gonna just keep being a fucking creep.
Oh, we're talking about the producer, not the owners of the bar.
Producer. Yes.
Okay.
Well, so I go to these people at the bar. I tell them what's happening, and it's insane. It is so insane what people will capitulate because they think they're a manager of something. This fucking it's a man and a woman. Man's name's Frank. Woman's name's Whitney. Frank was the owner. Irish piece of shit. And because it was an Irish bar, it's Irish Snug. And I'm like, hey, here's what's going on. I know that I'm half your bar sales because I asked your staff about it. This guy was actively a danger to people. I'm taking over and he's out and we need more money to make this work. I know you can afford it because I know we're half your weekend, and without it you're going to lose a shitload of money every single week.
Yeah. You're really coming hardball here.
It's not hardball. It would have cost them $150 to make another $1,400.
I mean, did you say it like that?
No.
Okay.
I'm heated.
yeah.
No,
okay.
I'm heated.
All right, there it is.
And in the point that they go, well, yeah, that's all outside business. We don't really care. This is a woman, by the way. I'm like, he is essentially sexually assaulted 10 people, and that's a bit of an exaggeration. But this is what I told her, and she's like, well, it's outside business, which is unfathomable to me that this woman is just for what, her $60K job. She's just oh, I'm actually a rape apologist. That's fine. I don't give a shit.
So she was kind of saying she didn't care what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she wanted to continue to work there.
She wanted me to continue working there unpaid.
Okay.
So, and the owner's going oh, you're bullying me. So the relationship quickly disintegrates. I find out about the Althea Center. I'd known about it for a while because they do improv. They used to do improv there.
Yeah, the Black Actors
Guild
was part of that.
And so I approached them. We build a relationship. I started doing shows there. Starts off with just one Saturday. I wanted to go to Saturday and Friday like we had at Snug. Starts off for shows, I don't know, 50 people. Then for a while, it's 30 people. That October, without Live Well, giving us sponsorship money, we would have gone bankrupt in that second month. So I'm always grateful to Live Well and to Casey Doll for setting that up because it would not have been possible. Also, the reason Casey Doll set that up is because we did a benefit show for Danny Ramos, who had a horrible tragedy happen, and we'd raised money to help him with that. And some people from Black Actors Guild and stuff came out for that. They have since not been to the new space. Fair enough. Anyway, so it just starts building. We just build. It goes from 50 to 70 to 80, 110, 120. We're currently capped at 140.
That's like the capacity of the room.
Yes. We have an upstairs thing that seats 480.
At $20 a pop.
Originally 15 a pop.
Okay.
And now it is what it is.
Yeah. So now, and then you're able to start hiring people.
Well, it's not able. I have to. I can't manage a room of 140 people. But it used to just be me and our general manager, Andy.
When we say managing, what does that entail? Like just getting tickets at the door, making sure people.
Yeah, you got to check them in. You got to give them drinks. You got to give them food. You got to make sure they're having a good time. Get them seated. Just all the just bullshit that goes into just.
And what do you
running a
focus
nice
on?
time.
Just booking and performing?
And currently, yes. And then, I mean, I can obviously swap in and help out at
Sure,
any position.
I wasn't trying to. Yeah, I was just saying like this is.
But
this is your baby. You know,
that
your
is
thing that you built.
currently where my skills are best utilized.
No, yeah,
yes.
that's great.
Yeah.
I was recently talking to my buddy at CityCast Denver. They promoted your stuff pretty heavily recently.
Oh yeah,
because they came
right?
to a show and
no,
Paul Caroli.
Oh yeah,
the producer,
okay.
one of the co-hosts as
Yes.
well. Which I thought was great. He was like, "Oh, have you met this Ben Bryant guy doing this?" I was like, "Yeah, I know Ben."
It's amazing.
and
I love it.
and they promote you guys. I mean, they promote the heck out of the place, and they love it so
awesome.
much. So I mean, that's so cool
I'm very
that this
grateful
word
for
of
that.
mouth is even starting to get around like that.
Well, but that's the other thing too is we also have a good product. It's $20. You get a free drink. You get a free pizza. You get a good show. It's like a cultivated show with like good up and coming talent.
Yeah, how did you get the work with the free pizza and stuff? Like,
Well,
'cause
so
that's such
originally, there was we had sponsorship with Sexy Pizza, and then that fizzled out because they were like, "There's just no way we can make 4 pizzas every Friday," which
Yeah.
like, okay, the math on that's wrong, but whatever. So we just found our own like pizza supplier. I just buy pizza now, so I just cook it in house, and I don't have to run somewhere to do it.
and there's no like. I mean, you're not getting any kind of like health violations. You're doing
No,
anything like that.
there's a lot of bars that do it. Most, there's a shitload of breweries that use this same place that we do,
Okay.
and it's just yeah.
And then you just have like a pizza oven or whatever, a little toaster thing, and you make.
Yeah, we just bring them out like buffet style. It's like snacks. It's not like a crazy
yeah,
huge
yeah.
meal,
You're not
but it's
getting
just
a gourmet fucking
Yeah.
experience here.
but they're pretty good, and it's just
Yeah.
solid. And that's the other thing too, dude. I mean, I'm sure
That's
you
what people
know.
are looking for.
If you were going out on a fucking date, if you get out of it for under $100, really anywhere, it's a fucking miracle. You can go to Underground very, very easily and just spend $40, get drinks, get food, see a show. Like a $40 date night like that doesn't. I mean, you know, if you're like really like, okay, we're gonna get dollar ice cream and then we're gonna go to Wash Park and walk around and stuff, you can do it a little cheaper. But for like a going out thing, it's really, really hard to beat that price point and the experience too.
And is that something you're trying, like you're honing in as like this is a good promotion? Or like
That's just
these
what
are
we
the
figured out in the
audience?
wash. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's just like, oh, you know, people say this and they like this and they like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know, in my perfect world, I'd charge $300 a ticket and I would charge $1,000 for drinks, and then we'd still have everyone come, and then I'd work 1 week, and then I would just retire with Pepper, huh?
Yeah, so you're getting like $5,000 ish on ticket sales a weekend, and so you're paying
Not quite, because I mean,
Maybe a little
gross
less.
is very different from net,
okay.
but you know, it's not like
So you're paying people. I know. I just
Yeah.
recently I used to work with one of the guys. He's doing AV stuff for you. I can't remember.
Aaron Benjamin.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
king. I'd love him. He's
Yeah,
so
he's
fucking
great. He
helpful.
knows what
He's
he's
so
doing. That guy knows his shit, AV wise, you know. And he's just saying he helped you reset up the room a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, get some audio recording stuff, lighting.
Where we just fixed the lights because we've had the cameras running. We're just making it just easier, just more like fluid, better flow. We color corrected everything.
Yeah, you got fucking
We've got-
cameras and lights. Like you can record shit there.
Yeah, we've had that going for a while. I would not want to record a special on those cameras there. I would want to do it like pretty differently. But we have the audio infrastructure, which is what matters, and people can just bring in. We've done a special there. We've done one. We've done Zach Moss's special there,
Oh,
which is
wow.
great. He did
Cool.
fucking. I knew he was going to do good, but I was super impressed with how it turned out and how well he did. I like truly can't wait for it to come out. It's a fucking sick piece.
Dope. I can't wait. Yeah.
Oh,
So so it starts turning into this business. I mean, and then people are like getting at you. How would people who want to perform there get at you for this? It's just
they should not,
go to
because
the website?
it's overwhelming.
and how do you do that? Yeah, I mean, like, are you?
They should just email. I mean, it's to the point now where I have to mostly just deal with agents.
You're kind of agents. Okay.
Because also it's one of those things where it's like people
How'd you
like
even
need
step
to be
into
promoted.
that? Besides,
They
like,
contact me.
okay, because of like the Westward articles and things like that. Like
No, this
becoming
is
more
before.
of a,
This
this is all like word of mouth.
basically,
Okay.
and also like that's an agent's job too. Is they need to be like, all right, where are the comedy clubs on this like route for my client, and then you know they get their little cut from it as well.
So like once you start paying people a certain price point, they just start deferring you to their agents?
The price, I mean, it was the quality before a price point. Our price point is fine. It's a little, it's on the like low middle end. But
so I'm just trying to think of like headliners that are traveling, like the Sam Talent maybe like 5 years ago, or like, you know, like those level of comics, or like
yeah, maybe a little higher than that. So we have like God.
So Sam Talent now is like, that's like the
yeah, pretty
level
close. I mean, we might even get up a little bit.
You're getting in there, like Mateo Lane maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, that would be sick. I mean, Mateo is
he's
ungettable now. We just
we
don't have enough space, but I would love that. Let me look at the fucking. Okay,
Yeah,
so like
we
have Hampton next week. I love Hampton. Hampton Yount from Mystery Science Theater, Eric Andre Show, Comedy Central. He's got some of my favorite jokes of all time. We got Brittany Carney, hot and up and comer. Not hot physically, like she has good heat on her.
Her jokes are doing well.
Her jokes are doing. She's funny and unique and good. Pepitone, I'm super excited for that. We got Tina Frimmel, Orion Levine. I haven't put them up yet.
Yeah, Eddie Pepitone. Yeah, that's
Caleb
a great
Sinan. And yeah, that's the other thing. Oh, it's Stroop, Wenzel, and a bunch of other
Derek
people.
Stroop.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's getting up there too. So that's he's becoming very successful as well.
Yeah.
Turnaround Burt Kreischer.
He just got sponsored by chewing tobacco.
Oh wow.
The concept of chewing tobacco.
I mean, they must believe in him when a concept gets behind you.
He does sets with dip in his mouth now. People they go in the first 3 rows and they're
just spittle.
They love it. It's very punk rock.
That's him spitting out beer onto his fans.
You have to pay more to
wow.
get spit. Yeah. No, Derek's great. He's a very cute cat. I've
tried to get him on the pod a couple times, never really worked out.
Well, you gotta offer him a fresh baked cherry pie.
Okay, I can do that.
Or some other southern.
What about
anecdote.
peach?
No,
I'm better at peach. Peach is southern. What was the last? What was the last sweet you indulged in?
The last sweet I indulged in?
Yeah, like a pie, cake, ice cream.
Fucking, I don't know, just a few days ago.
Yeah, give it to me.
I'm not like militant about it. I wish I was.
30, no. I haven't eaten in like 15 hours.
Damn. How do you feel?
Fine.
Yeah.
I've been drinking some coffee since you got here.
Okay.
But yeah, tell me what kind of sweets you're into. Come on.
There's a place in Denver called Sweet Sweets I like a bunch.
Sweets.
The Sweets with a Z. It is a family-owned, black woman-owned, not bakery, but just like sweet shop. They have killer banana pudding. They have killer pies. I really like the banana pudding, and the pie has great texture. Also at Slice Works, they have a blondie that's great.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Those are kind of my big Denver desserts, and then I am a sucker for a little Burger King pie, the little Hershey Sundae garbage ones.
Yeah.
But I'm really trying to not eat as many of those because
of your fat hernia.
Yeah, because well, no, truly, because if you remove more fat, it's less pressure on the mesh on the hernia, so it's like a lot better for that. Also, I just put on a bunch of weight from the psych meds, which is fine.
So they put mesh over, like a literal, like just mesh kind of cover, like if they're fixing drywall.
Yes, exactly. Actually, that's a really good comparison. I mean, it's thinner, but exactly, because they fix the hole and then they. So I have a biomesh, so in 18 months after installation, it'll absorb in, which is the newest, fanciest fucking whatever.
Hey, that insurance is helping you out.
Well, yeah, dude, bro, fucking, I have
Bretta.
I have the best Kaiser insurance. I pay for their like premium go fuck yourself version, and I got a statement of benefits, and it would have cost $110,000 for the surgery, and I think I paid $1,100.
Wow, what a success you are, buddy! It's the fact that you can pay for
success.
Medical procedures is like,
no, yeah,
it's like that's the ultimate success story.
That's the level of success
stay healthy.
I can survive one catastrophe right now. I can get one.
Yeah. I mean, did it start blowing your mind when you started making money? Like, doesn't it feel great, or are you just spending it now on everything else, and you're kind of
I am not spending it because
I mean, just like workers, the employees and things like that.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's also like I have responsibility for them, and also I need to get their wages up. I want to like make sure there's enough hours so people can like live off of it, and it's not just a weekend gig.
And you're living off of what you're making now, right?
Yes, I don't mind talking about money, but I start talking about it, and then people get really unhappy. So
like other people?
Yeah,
because of how much you're making.
A little bit, yeah. Like
fuck 'em.
I can talk to my family about it, and even then, it's a little weird for most
No,
people. Who
that
is
must
not
feel
my
good because
mom.
you're talking about your mom saying like, "Oh, you should get a job at McDonald's or whatever," and now you're like,
Yeah.
"Look, Mom, I did it. That must feel good."
I will say I don't even want to actually.
You don't have to say the
I'll
number,
tell
but
you-
it just has to feel good that you can.
Yeah, no,
you
thank
can
you. I'm not
support
gonna say
yourself,
it.
right?
Yes, it is
I'm
great.
not trying to get you to say numbers. I just wanted to talk about how it feels good to support yourself through your art and like
No,
making a living doing the
100%,
thing.
completely. I mean,
I'm so excited for you. I'm like, why?
it's things are.
Look at that watch. You got gold on your watch. You're
Yeah, I'm glad you picked up on that.
You
I didn't
have
want you
mesh
to. I
in
wanted that to
your,
just be for the video people. Yeah, no, this is a Datejust. This is a 1973 Datejust.
Did you flip that? Did you get that on flip?
I bought it cheap on eBay, and I could flip it because I had enough margin on it. So this watch resells for about $4,200, and I got it for $36.
I feel like this is the song that should be playing as you like go to Sunday dinner with your mom, and you're like, "Let's go get steaks."
There's Bo
Except
Burnham
comedy.
song where he says, "Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Are you happy?"
This is you, buddy.
But also, it's like I haven't made it. You know, what I have is a business.
Yes,
Like
and it's supporting you.
it is, and I'm very grateful for that. And I want it to grow and do well, and I want it to support people and the scene and all of that. But like, I also have my own things I want to do.
Sure,
like,
yeah, you still have goals, things like that.
Like Underground's bigger than me, which is great and cool, and like nobody's bigger than the sport, you know, sort of thing. Like if I can give people a platform for comedy, that super duper makes sense. That's you know,
Is that something you want to do? Is that like something you take pride in that you're giving
No, but
people a
it's-
space? Or
it's just something I'm just not even making peace with because it's not causing conflict, but it's just at what I realize, you know, when people go like underground, they know me from that, which it's like,
yeah, people talk about underground more than they talk about you.
yeah, which
I mean, people know
it's fine.
the underground.
I mean, it is fine. I don't love it, but also it makes sense. Again, I'm not bigger than the sport. You know, it's a platform and a place to do it, and it's far more accessible than just like,
Yeah, it is
oh,
interesting.
look
'cause I
at
think
fucking Ben Bryant just as wow, he's created a new video. Wow, you know, it's not. That's like very hard. I mean, even Rogan is kind of dealing with that. I mean, Rogan is still Rogan because he's had years and years of media thing, but like with comics now, people are like the mothership, because it
Oh,
benefits them,
interesting.
which is fine, makes sense. But also, you know,
I guess I still associate him with the podcast more because that's like
but
more the
that's
bigger
because
thing to
he's
me.
built it up for so long.
Yeah.
And you're probably right. The average person thinks about him and actually even okay. So that's that's actually a better comparison. People think about the Joe Rogan podcast more than the Joe Rogan personality. And you know, even Joe Rogan.
Those are kind of intertwined, you know.
Well, but the podcast is like one of the largest podcasts, and Joe Rogan himself is a host and, more importantly, a UFC commentator. So, like, he, in and of himself, is like inherently interesting. Like, I understand why it took off in the beginning because you have, you know, UFC, you have this new exciting combat sport starting, and you have one of the very few semi-articulate people in there. Of course, that's going to be an interesting podcast. Imagine if there were no like journalism about fucking baseball or the NBA, and you get a guy who comes on and can talk about it. That's super interesting. But now even the podcast has overcome that. It to me, it has overcome him as a personality because it's just this large platform. It's the Howard Stern. You know, I would say the Howard Stern show is bigger than Howard Stern.
Yeah.
It is similar.
Like the late night show is bigger than Carson.
Exactly. And
bigger than Jimmy Fallon.
I'm not saying I am any of these people
Jay
also,
Leno.
by
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way. But
No,
just,
yeah. But yeah, so this thing you're doing is kind of overshadowing you in a way.
Yeah. which
You're
is fine.
associated with it. I mean, you can't take you're, you know, I can't think of the word. You're still a part of it,
Mm.
but I mean, it's still, people think of this thing first.
Yeah, which again, it's fine.
Yeah. Have you found like people are trying to use you for things? Is that something that like you've been had to be a little more guarded with?
No, people just
like,
request
you know.
shit all the time, and I just can't get to everybody.
Yeah.
In terms of like it's pretty hard to like use me for anything because
I mean,
it's just like, well, we have a budget, so we can do this, and you can show up or don't come. Like
Yeah,
it's.
Do you
sort of
like
that.
comics coming to the shows? I mean, like I came one night.
If
and,
we had more,
I
room,
felt like you're busy doing stuff. So like one of the other comics was like, "Hey, come in the green room." I was like,
I don't love when people go in the green room.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I don't want to make Ben mad.
We just don't have
like,
enough space. Is the
yeah,
problem.
and I knew we weren't like that cool. And I saw other comics that weren't on the show also hanging out with you. But I was just like, I'm going to let him do his thing. I'm going to stay over here.
I appreciate that because there are times when it gets overwhelming. We'll have 10 people in the green room, and I just have to be cool about it. But I want to be like, hey guys, thank you for being here. Get the fuck out. You're too loud in here.
Yeah, and
also like I don't think the headliner wants you here.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know the headliner. I knew someone who was featuring, and
I mean, it's
so,
generally again. I just wish we had more room. Like Comic Works has like a nice there's a few like holding tanks, though they're not great to hang out in. But
yeah,
it just physically it's a space.
So if you're
issue.
a young comic, don't come.
I don't know. That's tough because I don't want to just friendly be like, don't come, but I also don't want to be like, if you want to come, how about you buy a fucking ticket? I don't want to do that either.
Yeah, I mean, $20 pop for a young comic.
Maybe send an email about that, and if we have space, it's fine. But if we don't, or if I can't get back to you, also understand it's like it's not personal, but just sometimes I have to respond to a customer who's going like, hey, I want to order 30 tickets more than a comic who's like, hey, I just moved here. I'm being kind of weird and aggressive and entitled over this email. Can I come in for free? Which most people aren't, to be fair. I actually really, I get contacted a lot by like mid and high level comics. It's pretty rare that like somebody just totally like fresh contacts me, which I think that's just because
it's like someone who's been in the scene for a little while.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Yeah, okay.
It's pretty rare that someone's like, I'm 6 months in. I don't know if that's like an intimidation factor or if it is just an unfamiliarity factor. Like, I don't imagine there's many people who are just like cold calling Wendy or David and just being like, hey, I'm new. Can I get on? And some people do that.
Yeah.
And they're out of their fucking mind.
Yeah, that's great.
It would be one thing if it was like a hustle and I was like, it was like, okay, I can kind of respect this, but it's a lot of people who are like, just a little delusional, a little ignorant, which is fine. And like, I don't like hold that against them, but also like, I can't get back to everybody. If I've got a fucking agent in my thing, like,
can we please get the ticket reports for this thing? We need to make sure that we're moving properly.
Is a little more pressing than, hey, I just fucking started comedy. I got this kind of like style where I like
eat spaghetti while I tell my jokes.
Yeah, and then I'm like, chicks are dumb.
I mean, they were obviously inspired by Spaghetti High at that point.
Dude, if we had, is there?
I said eat spaghetti. That's what I meant.
I know.
You added the chicks are dumb part at the end.
Spaghetti Jake doesn't like eat spaghetti on.
No.
Okay.
Do you know he beatboxes?
Okay. No, I saw. We did the You Look Like the roast battle, and he made it to the finals. Lost against me, but very funny. Good showing. He had very nice, like silly roast jokes.
That's funny. Good showing.
No, it's just I don't know everybody. So it was like,
yeah.
I mean,
is that weird now, not knowing everybody in the scene because it's changed so much, especially from the last time you were on?
Yes and
no.
I
mean, and now you're not in the shit, dude. You're not in the shit like I am still. Like I mean, in the mix of just like the open mics.
Well, and that's the ebb and flow of it. You
I
feel
mean, and these
disconnected.
roast kids came in. Like after the pandemic, all these kids came in with all their other shows. I mean, the Dead Room guys. I mean, they have like 8 shows a week now.
Yeah, the roast battle I can respect pretty solidly. I mean, I
don't like the roast trend.
I don't either. But what they're doing with it. They're like executing it like pretty okay. There's several
Austin
choices
Langley,
I would not be making,
like
but also it's not for me. Just in like execution and Wide Right's actually not a bad venue for that. Like just like timing and just like some of the advertising, but also it doesn't matter. It's not my fucking thing, It's also not my place to be like, hey guys, here's what I would do. Look at me. I actually talked to Spaghetti Jake. Like, if you guys want to move it over to Underground, we can. But I think
they're doing stuff at the Improv now once a month. I think so. They're making some moves.
Great.
I mean, it's a popular show. People like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like franchised out under the thing. I'm kind of with you, and that's why I didn't really like love doing You Look Like. I did it for Brian, and like it was fun. Like for what it was. And I think You Look Like is one of the better versions of that too.
Brian's the Springs K.
Yes, Brian Sullivan. He's great. Also, former pro MMA fighter. He's great.
Oh wow, okay. Mm-hmm. He does look stocky.
Yeah, he's also just skilled too. Like he's got both. He's got it all. But I don't love that roast shit, especially for me personally, because it. Okay,
you can
so
see your belly a little bit in the camera.
Thank you.
If you want to, if not, it's up to you.
Like
you got a skull, which is cool. Oh, yeah, scars from cutting yourself.
No, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, no, roasts are a weird proposition because it's just like, all right, fucking come out swinging and dunk on people. And I was like, I can do that. I don't like it. People will not be happy for a long time afterwards. I've done that.
You're
with
like the
plenty
martial
of
artist who's
people.
like, I had to stop because I just hurt too many people.
A
But I
little
just
bit.
didn't like looking back on the wake of all the people's lives I've destroyed.
Well, and just like also what I was talking about, like with this, like, you know, I can't like in good conscience be like, everyone was so mean to me and was so oppressive, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, here comes the fucking king of zing. Fuck you, boom. You know, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
The king of
Doesn't feel
Zing,
good.
the riff monster,
That's right.
Riffosaurus Rex.
Uh,
Yeah, so that's great. I'm very happy for you. I think,
Pepper.
people talk about, the underground is like, like in tiers of shows here in Denver. Like Comedy Underground's right up there, right under Comedy Works almost, you know.
Probably.
It's like Comedy Works. I would have said the Grawlix before, but now I'm not sure, with the Westward Art, all that stuff, so
Well,
like,
it's just tough because they're monthly.
yeah. Yeah, and so like Lounge, I think is right up there. I love the Lounge. I've done that one. I guess I'm a little more biased. I love that room. I love what Ben's done with it. Do you guys like talk at all about like?
Just like very occasionally. I've done Lounge like once.
It's not like, hey, I'm stepping on your toes or anything. There's no like, competitiveness with that at all.
I wish
like
they
the
had
scene's
chosen a
not big enough.
slightly different name, but it doesn't matter.
That was after you.
Yes, but also, that I was like a little annoyed with that, but also they're different
And he's
enough.
also another Ben,
And
know.
that-
So
Yeah, which
Ben
also
Kronberg runs the Denver Comedy Lounge.
we've only gotten that confused once, which is nice, and kind of crazy actually.
Ben Bryant runs the Denver Comedy Underground.
There are a couple other things in town that are like we're
There's Humor Underground, that
which
was another
is not underground.
Right, yeah.
That one
That was a
genuinely
backyard show that was like,
infuriates
very
me.
DIY.
Well, yeah, they
For a
have,
little
like,
bit, he
porta
was.
potties and
It
stuff.
seemed
It's
like the only game in town for during the pandemic
yeah,
for open mics.
which is like, I understand the value of that,
Yeah.
but also it's like, I don't know, is it important right now to go to open mics?
For me, yeah, dude. I need to get out there
Yeah.
and hone my craft.
Yeah, exactly. I also do find that, and this happens also on the coast too, is like becoming like during the pandemic, there were another comic had a great name for him, Scab Comics. This is the people who just like started stuff like when it was like, not like advisable or like safe to do that. And so most of them have quit, but some of them have stuck around, and you can just kind of see it like reflected in the quality of what they're doing. They're just doing like, well, I'm just gonna do comedy. I don't really care if it's like good or if people like it. I'm not really like caring about being engaged within the scene or like learning or anything. I do feel bad for some of the current like open mic people because there's a few less like resources for them to look up to. I mean, they'll still figure it out on their own, but like I feel like there's less people with a little bit more experience coming out to open mics, so it's sort of like it's sort of white belt sharpening white belts rather than having a blue belt or a purple belt to look up to.
I mean, there's definitely not like the Sam Tallents, the Byron Grahams, the Jordan Dolls coming out. The
Jordan. R.I.P.
Is he still doing comedy, or is he just playing Magic the Gathering now, or what?
I think he's doing a little bit more like gaming and like streaming and stuff.
Well,
but
I'm
I see
sure
him
it's
on New
very
York
successful,
stuff.
But
Jordan is
you can't beat
just
that
one of the
Razr
absolute...
versus or the Android versus Apple phone GPS thing. That bit was so
Jordan's
good.
one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
so
I mean, Lions Lair. When was the last time you went to fucking Lions Lair, dude?
It's been years.
Dude, yeah, I went. I've been going.
How
and
is
it
it?
is
Different?
a different beast. Yeah.
Good, different, bad, different? Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. That's
it's
fair.
different.
That's fair, and that's diplomatic. And I won't push it.
I talked some shit on the last on one of Katie's pod, and I felt bad after that. Anthony Crawford is doing his own thing.
Okay.
So it's different, and I'm used to what it used to be. So
Sure.
I guess I'm the old guy being like, back in my day, they used to put comics on for 30 seconds together to get it done faster.
God, some of that show was so chaotic.
Yeah, that was bad.
Woof.
Yeah, I
man,
mean, there's
Fiona good
no
set at
one.
the Lair.
I'm
Ooh.
sometimes I'm there, and I'm like the oldest comic been doing it the longest.
Yeah.
And like none of these kids know who I am. They don't give me the respect, and I go up at last. So.
Ugh. Well, then, yeah, I definitely get like, I'll maybe skip this one next week.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Okay, so I have been trying to think about how to make this podcast more of a service for young comics in the scene. People coming to the scene.
Fuck them.
But if there were some comics coming into the scene, wanted to get in, I mean, because I think you're a success in the scene, someone who did their own thing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and you're past at the club as well, so like, What do you think
Been on
on TV? what are the lanes people should be taking, or you think they should take, or just advice you would have for someone coming to the scene that's new?
Well, I would always be reluctant to give any advice because I don't know shit and I haven't made it in any capacity. But
I mean,
also,
making a living doing comedy. So.
Yeah, but but also I'm making a living running a business.
Okay, so you think of it more as a business than art might be an advisable thing for these young kids?
Oh, completely. I mean, if you want to be a professional comic, you need to behave like a professional. I think there are a lot of people who get into comedy because they don't want to have a job, myself included. But there's a difference between not having a job and not having a boss. And the amount that I work is pretty brutal. And it's fine. I've like made this decision, but there are people like, dude, I just want to fucking hang out and smoke weed and fucking try my jokes, travel around. And it's like, okay, great. I hope you're one of the 20 people in the country who can do that, who can be that level, and also to have that much industry help and to have that many people around you taking care of you. I think that is incredibly uncommon. I think the majority of people who are professional comics on any level are exceptionally hardworking in whatever field. If you want to write, you're going to have to write your ass off. If you want to be a stand-up, you're going to have to do that very hard. And don't kill yourself. Try and work like intelligently. It's not about like being at every mic, but
it's a marathon kind of a thing versus a sprint.
Yeah, and also just trying to be like professional and good. There's a quote I think about a lot. It's talent is the prerequisite to get into a room, and that's extremely true, especially the higher and higher up you go, because you really get to a certain level, and I'm not quite there yet, but I can, within maybe 3 years, I can sniff it, where it's like, okay, most people around this are approximately the same skill level within maybe 5%. So okay, let's say you go to the Comedy Cellar, for example. Those people are all within extremely close margins of each other. You can only be so funny. And the other things that differentiate it are luck, look, marketability, but also professionalism and ability to do stuff.
So to get at the Cellar, you mean you have to be a certain level of funny, and everyone there is about that level?
Yes.
Because you can't be any less.
There are people
and get in at the Cellar.
There are people at the Cellar who are funnier than Seinfeld or Chris Rock or whoever the fuck. But the margins don't matter in that. What matters are these other things, and I think there's a mistake where
hardworking, things like that,
where people go just like, oh,
their card looks like.
Yeah, you just need to like abstractly be. People think like, oh, if I just reach whatever level, and you should be as good as possible, but also you should recognize it's more than that. You should like not be a piece of shit. You should be like able to handle yourself. You should be able to like
not
build
get drunk,
relationships,
not be a predator.
Yeah, those are great. Just like baseline.
Don't be a predator, brother.
Yeah, just start off just being nice, normal, and as good as you possibly can be, and the rest will come. And also also record sets. If you really want to get, if you truly want to get better at comedy, it is the closest thing to steroids. Record sets and listen to them. And,
there's a younger comic start off, won't do the podcast, Devesh Patel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but when he started, he was mumbling, not doing, didn't have the presence, and he would video record every set.
Good.
And he has gotten so much better.
Yep.
I mean, it is like he's on steroids.
Yes.
So, he's a great writer too. So
I don't do it anywhere near what I should, but it is 100% the closest thing. I'm not bringing my fucking C70. Oh, well, yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant like random stuff.
Yeah. But you don't go to random stuff. I mean, so you're working stuff out at the clubs. I mean, at your club. Like, I don't see you at Mike's,
Yeah, I mean, it's...
I saw you destroy at the Comedy Works competition, though. You went out there with a vengeance and just fucking
thank you. Yeah, that was brutal. I'm very grateful that I advanced on that because it was 30 people on the first week. And
yeah, I was there. That was my show.
Oh, yeah, dude, you got fucking... I really thought you kind of should have moved on there. But
thank you.
That's also what was a little spooky about that shit, because it is... do you just look to the camera and wink?
Yeah.
I take that back.
That's a video medium
I
now.
take that back.
No, I'm just happy that
gotten
I feel like
triple last place.
You can't take it back now.
They should have come up to you and be like, hey, you have to do only technical writing now. You can actually no longer, you're banned from.
Yeah, I can only do like manuals, how-to manuals for dumb shit.
But no, I mean, every single person there was brought by somebody else. And I was like, okay. When I saw it, I was like, all right, I'm not advancing. That's fine. Yeah, okay. Whatever.
No, it felt like you went out there angry. Well, last podcast you talked about going out angry,
mm-hmm.
and like you were like, You just grab the fucking audience by the neck and just like fucking, we're doing this.
Well, that's the problem with those contest sets is they only have 5 minutes, and I'm
Yeah.
like not as used to 5 minute sets as I probably should be.
Oh, interesting.
There were plenty of times
You've
I'll
grown
run the
past
light.
it.
I'm being
You
unprofessional
can
and
wink
a
at the
little
camera when I say that.
limp-wristed.
You've grown past it. Thank you.
But also nobody like grows past that. I mean, most of
5 minute sets.
because you still have to do late nights. You
Sure,
still have to do don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the 10-minute set, like if I had to choose between a perfect 5 and a perfect 10, I'd probably have a perfect 10.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It was impressive is all I was saying. I watched
Thank
it.
you. I
I
was
was
impressed
impressed. Well, thank you.
10 calories.
Yeah, 10 calories in that baby. Yeah, okay. So thank you for that advice. I know we're not none of us are Chappelle and Seinfeld over here, so we're like, oh, this is how you
Yeah, we
make it
should
or
all
anything
try
like
to
that.
be
But
more like
we're more boots on
pedophiles
the
and
ground
transphobes.
than boots on the ground in comedy
Mhm.
versus somebody who's already made it and is just like, oh, you just gotta grind. Who's like is so detached from what that was.
Yeah, I mean, people who are like truly on that kind of shit are they're kind of usually living a pretty charmed life.
Yeah.
And that's usually because of either circumstance or their ability is just that great. And at a certain point, it's like Gretzky just being like, "We'll just do this," and people go, "I can't. I physically can't."
Yeah. Just be where the puck's going.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so I guess a little more specific on advice. If someone wanted to work their way up to getting on your show, like how would they go about that? Just
be good.
be good.
Email.
Email
send a
video.
Good tape.
Okay, good
be
tape.
normal about it. You're not entitled to shit.
Any pet peeves on tape? Do you want to start right at the beginning, or do you want to see an intro, intro sketch?
Someone
Me
does an intro
walking
sketch,
to
I'm
the
gonna be
club,
like,
walking to the open mic, getting a burrito out there with the fellas.
If I saw that, I would remember it forever. And if you open great on it, I'd be like, okay, yeah.
That's
but
hilarious.
that's some high expectation.
Yeah.
I mean, I have like pet peeves on tape, but it doesn't really matter because you can like tell pretty immediately. It's
like
almost
whether
like
they have a presence or
yeah,
whether they got the goods.
It's like Tinder or like Hinge, where there's like
you can just see it.
yeah,
The way they're holding
there's
themselves.
uh
You're pulling stuff out of your third eye. I don't know what that
and
means.
there's implicit things. It's like, okay, they're like kind of talking weird, they're not handling themselves great, they're not confident, or they're not like putting on a thing, they're not opening strong. I definitely recommend if you're trying to like make a tape, just fucking open strong, because that is the first thing people are going to see, and it matters the most of anything else. It is very rare that I watch more than a minute of a tape, because again, you can tell so quickly. And also just don't be like weird or aggressive in the emails. Like, you don't have to come like hat in hand, but just be like, hi, this is me and this is what I've done, and I blah 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 blah, and I'll probably give it a shot. But if like, hey, what's up? I've been doing comedy 17 years. How do I get on? Like somebody just messaged me, and they were just like, hey, I want to do the show. This person said I could do it, and I was like looking at this person like, who the fuck are you? And they have like credits and other stuff they could have put like more forward, and it's like, what an awful job of just selling yourself. What an awful fucking introduction. I don't know who the fuck you are.
First impression thing.
You clearly don't know who the fuck I am either, because you're just like you're just shotgunning it out in this like presumptuous, just like, oh, I should know. Okay, well, maybe I should know. Make me know. Fucking sorry. Like,
Yeah.
Or have your agent fucking sell you. That's the other thing too. These agents, when they send lists, it's full bios, and if they're selling well, they're like, I want these people. This is how well they've done recently. Like, just like sell it and be normal. That's the other thing too. I wish people kind of realized is if you're asking me for like stage time, you're asking me for money, and you're asking me for time that other people want, which is fine, and I want to get everybody that. I do.
But there's like a value in a current.
Well, it just the casualness and the entitledness that people go, yeah, can I have like $160? It's just like
people
oh,
are asking for
no.
specific numbers.
When they're asking for stage time, that's what they're asking
Oh,
for.
okay.
And
I thought they were
they
coming
don't-
to you with that number, not like
Oh, they
what
are,
that stage time
they
represent.
are passively.
Gotcha.
They are not
I
actively
get it.
going, give me 100. But I wish they would kind of recognize it's what you're asking for a little bit.
Yeah.
Or maybe that would make them worse. Maybe they'd be like, fuck you, this isn't even worth my fucking time to apply to. Okay, goodbye then.
Yeah. And it's not.
But also, I truly don't fault anybody for trying, but also they have to like not fault me for it might take a minute to get back to them.
Sure.
Is sort of the thing. Yeah, fucking I don't know what else. Yeah, I don't know. I'm grateful to the club.
No,
It's fine.
yeah,
It's
this has
summer.
been great. Thank you
It's
so much.
Summer's a scary time for that. It's not a good. How long have we been
'Cause
going?
it's, about an hour and 18.
Time flies by when you're on Zoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zero sugar.
Yeah, baby. I have been listening to a lot of things where they're talking about artificial flavorings being really bad for you. So I've actually been trying to wean off the
Good.
energy drinks and just going with the black coffee.
Damn.
Because I need the caffeine, but because I do, I've been putting on weight, and I do think maybe a part of it's been my insulin being brought up from these artificial flavors.
I kind of liked caffeine pills because the measurement is so exact, so you can like know what you're up. But coffee, I think, is a little like cleaner burning.
Yeah, I want to drink something. I want to be ingesting something. I need something that like mouthfeel. You know, that's what I'm addicted to. The
Oral fixation,
I've been trying to I've been trying to do this thing where I'm being more mindful when I do eat.
Sure.
And having like smaller bites and just waiting a little longer when I'm eating something. And what I've realized is I miss the feeling of my mouth being full.
Oh, I
like
relate
the
to that so much.
stuffing your mouth with food
1000%.
and just feeling your cheeks bulging and like the chewing. That's
it's like viscerally.
it's very interesting to think about. It's like, wow, I didn't
completely.
realize this is what I was addicted to, or this is something I miss or I want.
I mean, it's a whole sensory experience.
Yeah, and
you
it
know?
doesn't feel as satisfying when I just take a bite of a piece of pizza and put it back down.
Yeah.
Versus just and that's part of it.
But
Which is
1000%.
nuts. Yeah, thank you.
No,
for
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. But I want to. We've been ending on a note. I can see your belly again. Just throwing it out there. I mean, I'm okay with this as long as you are. We've been ending by doing kind of a 10-minute pitch for a movie. All right,
10-minute pitch. Oh my god.
if or less. Nothing longer than that. But
Moment. Great.
so we're gonna create together. So if you have a screenplay, forget it already. Okay,
all
don't
right,
bring
gone.
the screenplay you're already working on.
Gone.
All right. So, what's your favorite genre? Or do you have a genre of a movie you want to do?
God. I mean, it'd be a comedy.
Okay,
probably.
religious
No.
Christian movie.
No, they already did. That's called Dogma.
Loved it.
Or The Passion. No, I'm not going to say that one because I'm writing one actually within that genre.
Okay, it can be in the genre, but it just don't bring me your screenplay. That you've already
I'm not.
worked on.
I'm trying not
That's
to,
all I'm
bro.
saying.
I'm not giving away $1 trillion ideas for free.
Trillion.
Not without Zoa
Damn.
fucking coughing up some cash.
Yeah, we're gonna get The Rock involved
Okay. No, that box office poison. That guy
right now.
right now. Okay. Let's go mystery.
Mystery.
fun.
Okay. All
It's
right,
not necessarily my favorite, but I think this will be better for the bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So I like the idea of some guy who's got a successful kind of business, like small time business that he's running, like you are. Okay.
Okay.
Where could the mystery part? What is the mystery? Is there murder? Is there a theft of money you're trying to figure out?
Okay. So
Somebody dies.
All right. Yeah. So he runs
It's a murder mystery.
Fucking. Trying to think.
Someone's
of
trying to
a-
blackmail him.
Trying to think of a silly enough store for him to run, and then somebody or her, in the.
Yeah, and I do usually put you in as the main character for the movie.
All right.
So
Guy.
you're running a family
runs
business.
A head shop.
Head shop.
Somebody dies in it. No, we're not trying to make stoner comedies. Not in 2023.
Yeah.
Not for
Yeah.
the big screen. Okay. we go.
Mushroom. You have a mushroom grow.
Great. There we go. That's exciting because it's
Yes.
right in between illicit and fun. Okay, great. Now we're getting into prestige. We're getting into All right.
Okay, I
great.
like that. Like maybe
Mushroom
like
grow.
your grandma used to do it. She has this big greenhouse in the
Great.
back. All right. Yeah.
my
You're
grandma
kind
was
of
a
like her.
gnome who used to grow mushrooms. Okay.
She's short, but
Yeah.
let's stay away from that kind of verbiage.
Keebler elf.
Uh,
Got it. A person experiencing Keebler elfness.
And she's murdered, or is there like somebody embezzling money? Someone stealing something?
if
Where's the mystery part?
if your matriarchal grandmother dies, I mean that's definitely a revenge tale at its core. I don't know if we
Yeah,
want to. Have to be something silly. It'd have to be somebody. No, I mean, okay, kidnapped. She's got to be kidnapped. Then we're keeping it
Yeah,
silly.
because there's something about one of these mushrooms. Some like local company
Mhm.
wants to
Mhm.
get rid of this strain of mushroom
and
so they can.
the owners of this company, you guessed it, was in fact the Keebler elves. So all right,
Sure. Yeah.
so
But we're also
you're
calling them
running-
Monsanto or something.
yeah, it's
But when-
it's a
when you
metaphor.
break
there's
in,
story
it-
and there's plot. The story is
When you break in, it turns out they're actually the Keebler elves. I like
Mhm.
that.
Perfect.
That's a twist at the end.
great.
But okay, so I think
So-
it's sweet that you have this relationship with your grandma at the beginning. That's
mhm.
how that's the save the cat moment. That's
It
gonna get
is.
to love you.
Yeah.
All right, you're having a night. You wake up. You're kind of a stoner guy, but then we see you helping your grandma in the greenhouse. Doing your thing.
Mhm.
You make dinner for her. You actually love it.
Yes.
You love her, and you're like,
Great. We've got
hey
our setting.
grandma, After my parents died, thanks for bringing me in. You're the best.
Yes.
The next day, she's gone.
Grandma, I'll be right back. I'm going to string cheese incident. I'll see you soon. Gets back, opens the door. Grandma, I'm still rolling out of my mind. Do we have any B vitamins and orange juice? Grandma, gone,
And she's
missing.
gone.
The
Is
only clue left over is trying to think of mushroom
A
jokes.
note.
A note saying, "Flanagan, what?"
No, okay.
Okay, the only clue. We don't. I mean, we've already buried the lead, so we know the twist. But the only clue: she's disappeared. She's left behind
Signs of
her
a struggle.
shoes and tiny footprints. We don't register their tiny footprints immediately,
Yeah.
but it's
We just notice footprints.
Yes,
Okay.
great.
Yes, I love this.
We go
Okay.
to, you guessed it, ayahuasca shaman friend, and he's like, "You're gonna have to. How are we gonna find my grandma?" First, he tries dousing. Doesn't work. We get in a lot of good physical bits there. They're going around the house. Oh, bloodhound. We get a bloodhound.
Yes, Sergeant
Sniffing
Pepper's
around.
part of it.
Okay, great. So
Little basset
bloodhound goes around, sniffs around. Grandma, where's grandma? Dog sniffing. Oh my god, I think he's found something. Dog sniffing around. What's he
Turner
find?
and Hooch meets Glass
Cocaine.
Onion.
He's fine. It's cocaine. Dog actually does cocaine. Cut 2. Well, that didn't work. Next thing,
Okay,
they have to
yes.
go to their shaman friend. Shaman friend does either dousing or they go on an ayahuasca.
So you
thing.
already have a Basset Hound?
The basset hound is brought in by a secondary friend because
I think
it's
that's
always
the
funnier when
ayahuasca
somebody-
friend.
He's the same guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
we
saves
can't
on actors.
introduce too
Save
many
on
people.
actors.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You know, and the ayahuasca friend is your, Pineapple Express
Yes.
guy.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
John
No,
Favreau.
love this. Yeah.
John, what's his name guy?
Favreau.
Not Favreau. I keep thinking John Favreau.
John Quinones from
No, it has to be a fun Samoan guy.
I need to know more Samoan guys. I don't watch enough rugby.
Me either. I guess we'll stand in Jason Samoa.
Jason Samoan. Oh, I'm Aquaman for cookies.
Jason Momoa. I thought it was
These
Jason
cookies
Samoa,
are in the shape
obviously.
of my dick. No, Momoa.
Yeah.
Not to
Taika
be not
Waititi.
to be confused with mimosa.
It's still Maori, but
Yeah.
not Samoan. I know there's a difference, but
Uh,
anyway. Okay, so the ayahuasca guy, he's like, oh, I know you can like reach a mental state where you can like find where she are. You connect. You
go to
go
the
on
spirit world.
ayahuasca.
They-
You connect with your grandma.
yeah, like the Simpsons Fox episode. Great. Okay,
Yeah.
they do that. The connect grandma goes, "I'm at the Tree of Life." They're like, "What the fuck?" The Tree
Yes,
of Life. They go.
perfect.
They find it. What do they enter?
What is the
into?
Tree of Life? Is the Keebler Ale Factory.
Keebler Ales. Great. And they're going, "What the fuck, guys? What?" And they're going, "You have, look, mushrooms. Look, you guys have been fucking.
You don't know what you
fucking up our
unlocked.
stuff."
This is gonna be blah
Because
blah
we're
blah.
out, and like we
there's something.
we run on thin margins, and so but money goes further for us. So like a quarter, to us it's huge. So but you guys are really cutting into our thing here. Your grandma, she can't be doing that. Okay, and then they have
Yeah,
to.
it turns out the grandma has some like history with the elves or like
maybe
gnomes
the
she.
the village elder. They had like a
her-
tryst at some
Yeah,
point.
she's like half elf, half
Yeah.
or half gnome, half person, and so like she's.
I guess okay. So we're also
And it turns out you're actually the heir to the gnome empire.
great. Yeah,
you're
so
the-
I now have to take my throne
You have to
back.
like.
Okay,
You have to like.
great. So it's a
and it's also
return
like a journey
to
of
the
you like
call.
accepting
Yeah.
your gnome side and the human side.
Great.
A lot like
Master of both
Aquaman,
worlds.
actually.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot
Okay.
like Aquaman.
This is going great. Yeah, we've got this.
Okay. Okay.
And we're okay. So if it's a world of gnomes, and plus the spiritualism of like ayahuasca, so we can play in pretty much any fantasy. I mean, we can go
When
from
you go
like,
in the ayahuasca world, it's 3D Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers stuff.
Yes, the
Yeah.
budget just went up another 10 million for this 5-minute scene, but it's worth it. Okay, yeah, we get the Spider-Verse people to do it.
Yes.
Great.
Perfect.
And that's the selling point right
I was
there.
thinking like 3D animated, like
we can get it all. We can get it all. We just make it crazy. And then
Okay, I
worst
think
case,
this is a good
worst case
enough-
if this movie goes poorly, people will clip this visual spectacle of this ayahuasca.
Is there
trip.
a love interest?
A
little gnome.
I
You
mean, it's
fall in
about-
love with a gnome.
It's about
lady.
family love, but it's also about
Yes, the
accepting
love
both
interest is
sides
you
of
and your
yourself.
grandma. Yes.
Well, that's a little Simone Woody Allen. But I guess for the story of this podcast, we would need to
yeah,
do that.
I don't know
if I want to write a grandma incest story.
It's
but
not incest. It's just a pure family love
Pure
thing for
love.
your grandma.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Okay.
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 So,
Who do we cast as your grandma?
Jason Momoa. No.
Jason
it's
Momoa is your ayahuasca
the
friend.
wrong- Okay. Wait, who's the ayahuasca friend? Oh, it's got to
Sergeant
be
Pepper's the dog, obviously.
Yes, it's got to be somebody who's
I'm her agent.
like racially ambiguous enough where it's like, is this white dreads? I can't quite tell. So
Is your grandma?
no, for my ayahuasca friend.
No, it's Jason Samoa.
Oh, okay. Then okay. So my grandma, who's ideally we want the Betty White, but she's gone. Damn. Cloris Leachman. No, she's also gone. Who would be a good grandma? You know who I want? Julia Louis-Dreyfus, made way too old. That's who I want. That's my dream casting.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. No, that's great.
Elaine.
I like that.
Yeah, what an... Oh, no. Jane Krasinski. That's who I want. The fucking mom from Malcolm in the Middle. Final answer, lock it in.
Ooh, yes.
That is exactly
Jane
who I want.
Krasinski. That's her name?
I'm 40% sure. I think with a K, maybe. I don't know. Just do Malcolm in the Middle, mom. Yeah. Come on. Did I get it right? Lois Wilkerson. Who the fuck?
That's her name.
No,
Yeah.
Jane Kasmerak.
Yeah, Jane Kasmerak. Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
and you are played by
Yeah,
Malcolm. Malcolm in the
I mean,
Middle.
it's gotta-
You're played by.
Yeah.
He's coming back to acting to play you.
Shia LaBeouf pre-breakdown would have been pretty funny,
Yeah.
but can't be. I'm not too familiar with I don't want to go Timothy Chalamet. He's getting too much work as is. Who? Boy. Oh, Rory. I would cast Rory.
Rory Scovel is you?
he's doing more movies, so
Yeah,
I just think
it's
he
a
can play
little
a
old for
mushroom
you,
guy.
though.
Well, it's not.
I feel like we want like a. I mean, I
Uh,
always go to Tom Holland. What about Miguel from? I always cast these guys because I only have a specific
mhm.
number of things I watch, and it's Marvel movies and Cobra Kai.
God, I don't know. Okay, you know who we cast? We cast Caleb Huron. That's who I cast.
I don't know who that is.
Very funny.
If we get this guy, Jacob.
Ooh, I don't know about that blue
Bertrand.
hair.
Well, you cannot have blue hair, but he's from Cobra Kai. It's
Okay.
a hawk.
Oh yeah. So no, I like that because then there's a martial arts scene. Yeah. We gotta have a fight scene.
Yeah, you fight
Somewhere.
Bales with using your judo.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's not okay. Well, he doesn't have to be me. You're making it a biopic. I don't know if
Well, I think it's fun to
It's,
bring
like,
in elements
inspired.
from what we
it can
talked
be
about.
inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you're making a biopic. Not exactly. All right.
Carl, I want to be played by George W. Bush. That's who I want. I mean, I have this idea for a sketch, but it's like way too abstract. But I wanted it to be like the either the movie or the TV show where clearly the casting director was unfit for their role. So just every role is cast completely wrong. I just thought that'd be real funny.
Yeah, there's something there.
But I don't know how you
But back to what do we call
explain
this
that.
movie? We call it Gnome
Place like home.
Place Like Home. Perfect. Gnome Place Like Home.
Boom.
Jason Momoa is your ayahuasca friend, or maybe we get a young shit. Yeah, I got this kid from Hunt from the Wilder People.
Taika Waititi?
No, the kid, Julian Dennison.
Love it. Okay.
He's
Love
gonna
his
be
look.
your ayahuasca friend.
Yeah. Sold.
Because he's gonna be old enough. He was also in Deadpool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sold. What a look. Oh, I want the mullet too. No, that's perfect.
Yeah, and that's your fucking ayahuasca friend
Yes,
right there.
please.
Boom.
Yes.
Got
please.
it. Yeah, that's pretty much everybody in the film.
Well, there you go.
Evil gnome.
Directed by Bong Joon-ho. So it's like high prestige, like
Yeah.
immaculate. You're like, huh, this is a fucking mess. Of a
Gnome
movie.
Place Like Home. Perfect. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for doing this.
Sure.
You've done the pod before. Yeah, let the guests sign us off however they see fit. I will say Wakanda forever. Be excellent to each other. And any last words you want to leave the audience with?
It seems inappropriate of me to say Wakanda forever, but I do support the mission. Just hey guys, thanks for listening. If you had fun, just have fun, be yourself. Follow me on Instagram, Ben S. Bryant, and come to Denver Comedy Underground. It's $20. Best thing you can do. Most fun you can have for $20. Huh? Pretty good.
Perfect. Thank you.